Hey, hey, Linda, how are you? Merle, Pearl, how are you? Sherry, good to see you. Perez, Lisa, Robert, hello. Marianne, April, hello, hello, how are you? Danelle, how are you? Six Sensical, how are you? How is everybody? Teresa, Mrs. Beam, hello. Roger, good to see you. How is everybody? That's okay. I can be doozing today. That's all right. Danelle. Hey, Teresa, good to see you. How is everybody? If you want to retweet this, you can. Hey, Kim, how are you? I just wanted to come on and talk for a few minutes about today. I'm sure everybody pretty much knows what happened today. Watch a lot of coverage. Sad night. Sad day, Marianne. And six. Hey, Amanda. I know, it's so crazy. So very crazy. Um, you know, hey, Kim. Hope I know you had Kim just had a funeral to go to, and I know that's how so difficult for you from yesterday. Hope you're doing better today. Yeah, Marianne. Hey, Dixie Doodles, how are you? It's so sad. You wonder how many of those people today went there and are kind of looking at this tonight, going, "What was I thinking? Why did I even go there? I should never have gone there." That's the sad part. You can't take it back. You can't roll back time. You don't have a do-over and something like that. I just kind of wanted to come on and, give you my observations from today. I watched a lot of the live streams, and I watched some last night on the live streams. Um, and I just, kind of wanted to give you my perspective on what I saw and what I think happened today. Instead of, that's why we have to be careful what we, yeah, you think, Amanda? They always say about the company you keep. Well, thank you, Cheryl. Thank you so much. Um, a reporter showed a business card recruiting people to come and protest. Marianne said, I haven't seen the news. Thanks for explaining. Today was a bad situation, so sad. Hey, Crazy Clan, how are you? Good to see you. Unfortunately, it was just one of those days, again, that I think people. Here's what I think about the groups that were there. I can't, we can't name one group. Yeah, the MSM is saying they're white supremacists. Fox said it was a group called the Right to Unite. It was the group called Right to Unite. That's why they were there. That's why they were there the day before. Um, but here's what I'm seeing. I'm not looking at the individual people. Let me just tell you in the scheme of things what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a number of people. Hey, Rob, good to see you. I'm seeing a number of people who are extremely frustrated, some angry, some worse off than that. Hey, Julia, good to see you. That don't know how to vent their frustrations. I've seen people who, for 8 years and longer, who have seen lawlessness in this country, who have seen some people, hey, Judy, good to see you. Some people get away with lawlessness, some people don't. And I see, a lot of things that are happening that people don't like, removing history, trying to change things. And what I just see a lot of people who, again, don't know how to control their anger. They don't know how to release it properly. So they just take it out on anybody and everything. Now, here's what I didn't appreciate. There were several groups there today. Shouldn't be removing history. Exactly, Marianne. Should not be. There's no need to. And when you do that, it very much can repeat itself over and over. But what I don't like seeing scopes titled Civil War II. Well, yeah, that's to get your attention, and that's maybe the angry people who are trying to create stuff, and I don't want to be that scope. I put in Charlottesville because that's the way, this is what it is, but change by voting, yes, that's one good way. But I think that, what happens is that, as I was saying, there were several groups there. There was Antifa, there was Black Lives Matter. There were people that I saw sporting, Nazi swastikas and doing the Nazi salute. I guess you would call those white supremacists. I would call them Nazis. Um, People there who were claiming that they were nationalists. Yeah, you put all of that. And here's what happened. Evil came together in one place, and whenever that happens, there's going to be something bad that happens. Makes me so sad for what they are doing to the United States. We are starting to look like other third world countries. And Kim, that's exactly what they want you to look like. Hey, Lisa, if you look like a third world country and you're in chaos and you're angry and you're fighting each other, that's exactly what they want. Who officially organized it? At this point, I'm not sure. I mean, I've heard so many things. Right to Unite. I don't know exactly who those people were. I know I've heard David Duke's name all day long, so I don't know if he was, part of the group that was behind it. I have no idea. I know, Lisa, it's so bad. Soros money, no doubt, Marianne. What I didn't like to see were people coming out immediately. It went from alt-right to white nationalists to white supremacists. And I tell you, mark it down on your calendar. It was a sad day in America, not hyped up by none other than MSM. Absolutely, Judy. But what I see happening is I see the left from here on out. Wait for it for tomorrow, I'm sure. You're going to hear white supremacists with the name conservatives. They're going to start calling us, in general, conservatives are going to start being white supremacists. You wait and see. Yeah, David Duke was there. I'm not surprised. Last night, the visuals. Hey, Susan, the visuals of seeing people carrying torches. It wasn't a good sign. If you've lived in the South, that wasn't a good sign to see things like that. It wasn't a good sign if you were in Germany and knew what that meant. Dixie, here's what happened. Let me talk about what happened in the crowd. I was watching, like I said, various scopes. So various people talked about things. Hey, Renee, good to see you. What I've seen this scope over and over. What happened? There was a person in the front car. I don't know exactly. I think it was a woman, but sitting there, kind of stopped in this crowd of people. All of a sudden, this car looked like I'll just say dark gray car because I don't know exactly what it was. Came down this one lane road. Hey, Bay Area Renee. Hello back. Came down really fast, kind of going through the crowd. Now, some people said, a challenger. Some people said it looked like the person was scared. Hey, Renee. And was kind of going too fast. Now, they were saying that people were throwing things at the car. I don't know if people were throwing things at the car because it was going too fast, or if that's why the car was going too fast because people were throwing things at them. Who knows? That's why you kind of wait for factual-based stuff to come out before you start condemning people and talking about it. So I'm giving you kind of both things. Absolutely. Prayer for peace. Absolutely. So what happened was when this person, you could see the one in the Challenger just slam into a car that was stopped in front of him. And when he did that, people went flying. And then he hesitated. Hey, how are you, Renee? Hesitated and started backing up, and then started backing up faster and faster to get out of there. And now, people immediately, I had people on Twitter when I was just saying what happened. They immediately said, well, of course it was intentional. You know it was intentional. They should be charged with murder. And I said, no, I don't know if it was intentional. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. Plus, there was an eyewitness that was there that was talking on camera. He had seen it. He was a black man who was, I don't know, I'm guessing maybe 40-ish or something. And he was standing there, and they asked him, what do you think happened? He said, I saw a young guy in the car. Young people. I thought he said young people. He was really soft voice, soft spoken. And he said he looked scared. And I don't think it was intentional. I think that he didn't do it on purpose, is what the black man was saying. And so the guy on camera said, well, thank you for saying that and not just like making things up or, whatever. And the guy said, I'm telling you the truth. I'm just telling you the truth. This is what I saw. So thank God that there are people in this country who want to tell the truth, who don't have an agenda like the left does. And I'd have to say, some people on the right have an agenda too, and it's becoming pretty obvious. So depending upon who you listen to, some people say it was intentional, and some people say it was an accident. Basically, he was scared and it was an accident, and he plowed into the car in front of him. Now, why don't we wait until we get the facts? The guy's been arrested. Supposedly, he's a 20-year-old man from Ohio. I'm not going to say his name or anything else. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know. I don't know if he was there, if he was part of the rally. I have no idea. I really don't. And I think the Charlottesville police, I think they're pretty capable of trying to figure out what happened. I see Ted Cruz that came out already and said the DOJ needs to look at this and they need to open an investigation on domestic terrorism. Based on what? Because you have, this crowd of people that are there today and unruly people. Okay. I think we should wait until Charlottesville police say, this is our investigation and this is what we think. And then if it looks like they didn't do a good job or they didn't do it well or whatever, okay, then Ted might have a point there. Let's go to the DOJ. But I don't think there's any need for that. Also, people are coming out and saying Donald Trump, he should have, condemned everybody. Donald Trump already condemned David Duke a long time ago, and today he didn't name every single group. Yeah, I know, Kim. It looked like he was dragging a body when he backed up, and I looked at the film again, and I think that backing up proves that it was a felony hit and run. That's what it proves. It doesn't prove he had intent to hit the person in front of him or hit other people. But when you leave the scene of an accident, that's a felony. And unfortunately, regardless of why he did it, it's now going to be a felony hit and run. And it looked like the front bumper that he was dragging. I'm not basing this on conspiracy theories. I'm basing this on kind of what I saw. And I don't know, again, if this young man got scared. I have no idea. And I'm not willing to, get out and condemn people. But here's what I saw today. We need to wait for more information. I mean, everybody there's an agenda going out. He should have stayed there, Amanda. He absolutely should have stayed there. Had he stayed there, it may have been, he would have, but a tennis shoe did fall off too. I don't know what that means, Cheryl, but if he had stayed there, it certainly would have been better for him. You don't leave the scene of an accident. But I think that, and other things that I saw, see, the agenda is, let's make conservatives be white supremacists. All conservatives, they're going to try to make them be white supremacists. And then it's going to be, Donald Trump, he's out of control. He didn't condemn these people, and so therefore he likes this. This is what he wants. This is everybody that follows Donald Trump is a white supremacist. I mean, that's the agenda. It's ridiculous. It's crazy, but that's the agenda. The other films that I saw today. Now, if this is all about white supremacy, then some of the black people there are white supremacists, because I saw films where the black people were taunting the white people. White people were taunting black people. Black people were taunting black people, and white people were taunting white people. So if all of those people are, are white supremacists, then I just have to say they come in all different colors and shapes and sizes. So what should have happened is, and I think Donald Trump did a generalized condemnation of the fact that you can't have hate. And we need to, not just point out and say white supremacists like Rubio did, like Ted Cruz is kind of insinuating. There were other people there involved. Were the white supremacists there? Was it great in what they were doing? Absolutely not. It wasn't great in what Black Lives Matter was doing and Antifa. None of those people was it great. Everything was disgusting. I have never seen so much hate in one place in my whole life. And you can blame it on the lawlessness for the past 8 years, but I'll tell you something. The people I saw there today were adults. And the people who are adults that aren't somehow mentally challenged need to take responsibility for their own actions. You may not like what happened 8 years ago, and you may have seen lawlessness for those 8 years, but you need to sit there and go, wait a minute, this isn't right. I need to say, I've got to be responsible for my own actions. And if I'm in a place that all of a sudden things are getting bad and I didn't realize it was going to be that way, then guess what I need to do? I need to leave. And so I didn't see that. I saw people who were kind of happy that things were going awry. Let's just say it that way. And we can't have that. We need to have a country that is together. We are not black, white, brown, and everything else. We are God's children, and that's what we need to remember. And we're not remembering that. We're going out and we're angry. And I get the anger, and I understand that. But we have to also remember who we are. And we have to also remember that today, and I hate to say this, but today people played right into the hands of the left agenda. They really did. George Soros, wherever he's at right now, he's happy. Wherever Satan is right now, really happy. People played into that today. And I think, honestly, that it's going to get worse. It is adults acting very badly. Absolutely. And there's no excuse for that. What I'm saying is, Cheryl, that those things, all of our colors, aren't as important as who we are. We're God's people. Your one color went to God. I mean, yes, we're all different colors, but God doesn't care what color you are. And neither should we. You can look at somebody and you can say, okay, I understand your culture and I respect your culture, but you don't have to look at a person's skin color and that be everything to everybody. We have to come together. We can't continue to be divided like this. Again, what do you think? And I hate to put it in simple terms, okay, but I'm going to. The people that are elites, the people on the left, the people like George Soros, this is exactly what they want. They want us to be fighting each other. Because when we are fighting each other, what do? They go out and do whatever they want. I mean, we're like their puppets is what we are. Really, we're their puppets. And today was an example of that. And people are starting to say, oh, well, what about, World War II, da-da-da-da-da. We cannot, divided we do fall. People need to stop talking about World War II and start talking about how do we come together? How do we stop the anger? I felt what the president did today. I'll say it again. I think what he did was exactly what he should have done. He went out and condemned everything today that was hate and anger filled. And that's what you need to do. And that wasn't good enough. Everybody, well, you should have exactly said this and you should have said that. And then, again, you have the mainstream media pushing that agenda. They want to make this president look bad. And although this president had absolutely nothing to do about this today or with this today, they're blaming Donald Trump. He wasn't there. He didn't tell them to go do it. He didn't suggest they go do it or anything. And the mainstream media now wants it make it look like it was all his fault. They do want this chaos. They do. And we don't know all the factual information. We don't need distractions. Exactly. One race, the human race. Thank you. Pigmentation differences. This chaos pleases Soros? You betcha. Well said. It's never going to be good enough. No, you're right, Lisa. It's never going to be good enough. No matter what he does, there's going to be some. And see, I think we need to get used to that. We need to say, look, this is getting thrown at us. People are doing all of this stuff to stop this president from doing what he needs to do for this country. I mean, how North Korea today, they saw this. What do you think they thought about it? Great. While we're sitting there fighting each other, they're sitting there wondering how many more missiles they need to order. I mean, come on. And I tell you, Christians, I'm talking to the Christians now, we have to be the light. We have to be the light. We have to pray for this country. Always feel on the defensive. It is exhausting. Absolutely exhausting. But we have to be the light. Tonight, we need to pray for this country. We need to pray that God would help bring this country together and that people, the enemy in this country, would be destroyed. That's why we're here. We're here to do that. We honestly are, to bring people together. I don't know if it's false flags. I don't know, and I don't care. All I know is what I'm supposed to do, what I feel that I'm supposed to do, and it's not to get into this second guessing, this conspiracy theory. What was it? Blah blah blah. Take one day at a time. What I saw today, I have no idea what the truth is. Thanks, Nina. I know. Every night I pray for this president, for the vice president, and for the entire administration. But I need to start praying more for the country. I really do. And for people to come together. I've lived through this before. I've lived through the civil rights era. I know what that looks like. I know what rioting looks like. I know what lawlessness looks like. I know what hatred looks like. And you know what? This right now is probably worse than what I remember at the civil rights era. I don't think it is worse, but I think what happens is because we have access to the internet and people can see all this at the same time, that it just makes it worse. You can watch it on TV, you can watch it on your phone, you can watch it wherever, and you're connected right there in that moment. There's no time that passes, so you can calm down. That's right. Nobody does know the truth. We haven't, we have to wait. And again, there's no reason in my mind that the Charlottesville police aren't going to do their jobs. They need to go. They need to figure out what went wrong. And and that's up to them. And everybody mostly on the left that I'm hearing now, starting this agenda again about white supremacy. It's because they always send the police out once Antifa's. She's up. I'm not sure what that is. But I do see in this country, and I have seen for the last 8 years, that some groups aren't treated as well. So do I, Susan, pray for the people of every race to try and get along. We all believe. Yes, absolutely. What does the Bible say? You're especially supposed to pray for your enemies, And it's, I hate to say this, but if you've read Revelation, and if you haven't, please read it. It's going to get worse. And we are going to need to be the light. Yes, let the police do their jobs. God does love everybody. And God forgives everybody. And people just, need to ask for forgiveness. All races get along great in my rural Ozarks. I know. Hey, Shauna, good to see you. People can get along together as long as, they're not being fed BS. A lot of this stuff is people are being fed, to admit that I feel pushed to defend my race, and I never have before. I know, Renee, it's sad. But, Renee, they want you to defend your race. And I get that. You don't have to buy into all of it. I mean, you really don't. I mean, who are you defending your race to? You know what I mean? You need to defend what you do to God. That's what's important. And those people who are out there saying stuff about white people or whatever, they're misguided. And how much evil goes into a person that causes them to say that, or causes somebody to say the N-word or anything else. That those words are despicable. I know. What would Jesus do? Exactly. And I'm sorry. I don't see that. I really don't think Jesus would have been carrying a torch. Jesus wouldn't have been wearing a swastika. And Jesus wouldn't have been standing there, yelling at people and saying those things. He wouldn't have been doing that. So most of what I saw today, Jesus wouldn't have been doing that. And do we all as humans, do we fall into that? Yes, we do. It's easier to go out and be mad at somebody and scream at them and on and on, because it's easier to do that than to control your own behavior. But we have to remember that's what we're called to do. We have to be the example and be the light. And, you don't have to be. I mean, but I don't know. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be standing in front of God one day and he says, okay, Susan, what did you do when, you were there in Charlottesville? And I wasn't there. I don't want to say, well, I picked up a torch and I called people names and I did that. No. I have, Alberta. I've seen those demonstrations. I've been there, and you don't want to be there. It is horrifying, and it is the most dangerous place that you can be. About seeing much of this before. I'm 64 and seeing in my I know, and you know how bad it is, and you know how bad it can get, and I don't think that we've seen the worst of it yet. Love thy neighbor, yes. And there's no reason. I mean, those people that are filled with hate, why do you think they're filled with hate? They're misguided, they're deceived. And you hating them is not what God would want you to do. God would want you to try to help them. Rebecca, it's a whole long story about Charlottesville. You might want to watch the replay. I've had trouble finding the right balance. It is hard. It really is. And again, if we listen to the enemy all the time, sorry, Susan, I didn't have my glasses. Why do they tell the police to stand down when Antifa shows up? They shouldn't. I don't know why they're doing it. I mean, well, I do have my ideas, but they shouldn't. You have to, you need to treat people equally. And wrong behavior is wrong behavior. I don't care who you are. If you're Black Lives Matter, Antifa, or, white supremacists, anybody supremacist. Hey, Don, good to see you. Then let's call it what it is. What is it? It's not treating people equally. I don't have a problem with that. And I don't have a problem with saying groups that are filled with hate. I don't care who you are. It's wrong. And that's what but the mainstream media doesn't see it that way. And they're not saying that now. They're pushing that it's a white supremacist, blah, 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 because that's their agenda. Wrong is wrong. That's right, Amanda. Wrong is wrong. And we're the ones that have to keep a level head about it. I believe a great deal of these thugs haven't got a clue what they're fighting for. Well, Kim, a lot of them are just out there fighting because they want to fight. And that's it. All these groups should be banned from this country. All those groups should be locked up and put in jail for the crimes that they committed today, if they did commit a crime today. That's what they should do. If anybody out there today was, doing things, throwing things, spraying, and I'll tell you what, spraying people with mace in their face when they're not doing anything to you and you're not defending yourself, that's a crime. It's called a battery, and you can't do that. And I saw that today. And people, again, they don't know the law because there's a lot of lawlessness going on, and they need to learn that there is a law. 6.4 earthquake in Indonesia. Wow. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Leave our monuments alone. Can't rename a park. And yeah, I know, Don. But, just having a monument moved isn't, you can go and you can protest and you can stand up for that, but it doesn't have to turn to violence. Makes me so angry that they accuse Trump of encouraging this. Well, of course, because that's their agenda. They hate Donald Trump. No, we didn't act like this during Obama's years, Dixie. We didn't. We didn't go crazy. We need a moratorium on protests if they refuse to be nonviolent. And Julia, I know. And somebody, I guess, gave these people, they had a permit to be there. Every single person that did this is breaking the law. That's simple. Yeah, anybody who committed a crime today should be locked up. And don't take sides. Lock them up. This isn't based on color. It's based on, did you break the law? Okay, there you go. Lock them up. And we have to get back to that country, to a country who just says you commit a crime, you're going to jail. Yeah, I'm sure they bust in the fight, Don. I'm sure they did. And again, we've seen that before. A lot of times buses show up, people get off, people are paid by Soros. And what happens? We fell right into their trap. Still can't accept that the driver was part of the right. I don't know if he was or not. I have no idea. Yeah, that was revoked when Antifa came in. I have no idea why they don't go after Soros. I guess they just haven't somehow nailed him down. POTUS will be blamed for everything. Exactly, Kimmy, because that's exactly what they want to do. Where were the paddy wagons? Exactly. Nina, it's not going to get better. It's not going to get better. But that doesn't mean that we're not supposed to do what we're supposed to do as we watch it, get worse. Because anti-Trump, Yeah, I see, Amanda. I'm not believing any of this. I mean, I don't. I have no idea who that driver was, and I don't want to say other than the fact. The only thing I know about him, he was 20 years old and from Ohio, and he was white looking. In appearance. I'm guessing he was, but I don't know for sure. So I mean, I want to report the facts and let the yeah, he was a younger person. I think he was 20, right? None of it had anything to do. Look, if I tell you to go out and do something and you go out and do it, whose fault is it? Do you think this will go on tomorrow? Yes, Kim, I do. Yeah, I know they did give his name. Well, Amber, if he, again, we don't know if that guy intentionally ran into the car, if he was scared. We have no idea. We have no idea. Until they go and get the information, get the facts, we don't know. I have no idea, Renee. Have no idea what he thought. But again, people have to be responsible for their own actions. Right? That's what they were saying, and they were showing it. People were throwing things at his car. I don't know if they were throwing things out of his car because he was going too fast, or if he was going so fast because they were throwing things at the car. We can put 10,000 to fight through prayer. Yeah, we can all pray. We can certainly all pray. And you know what? That's what we're supposed to do. Atlanta has a big march this afternoon to protest the Virginia protest. Oh, God. See, people just need to go home. Go home, figure out, what you need to do to make this world a better place. Not what you need to do to go seek revenge. I know, here we go again. God's been telling me to be praying and stay out of this, and that's it's going to get worse. Nina, again, if you've read Revelation, you know where this is going. It's unfortunate. But as Christians, we're supposed to be the ones who remain the light in all of this, who continue to pray and stay out of it. We're supposed to be the ones that lead people to Christ, not being the ones that are in there in the evil that went on and the hatred that went on today. I'm scared of our great president would be taken from his office. You know what? God put Donald Trump in that office. I have no idea how long, if for 4 years, 8 years, or whatever else, and we don't know. And having people talking like that is not. It's exactly what the people on the left want you to be talking about. You just need to go on and not focus on things like that. I mean, there's so many people on the right and so many people on the left, they really just want you to be scared. Don't fall into that trap. Stay focused on what it is that you're supposed to do. Pray, yes. Be the light. Pray. Don't fall into the trap of what you've heard. He's not going anywhere. Have no fear. No conspiracy theories. They say that having fear is a lack of faith. They're trying to invoke violence. Well, that's what people do. A lot of people do that. And you don't have to get into it. Well, mainstream media wants you to be afraid. Mainstream media wants to blame the people on the right. I mean, the mainstream media, they have an agenda. Where do you think they get their agenda from? Same people that, that George Soros and those people at the top, the elites. Exactly. The left has the ability to go out there and say everything. They're fear merchants. Yep. Fear does come from Satan. I refuse to watch TV anymore. Probably a good idea. Somebody said that. Yep. Probably a good idea. Stay focused. Stop the distractions. Yes. They are race baiters, Amber. They really want you to get so wrapped up in that. Again, that you forget what it is that you're supposed to do, and that you are so distracted you miss what's going on. Even in all the politics that are going on right now, if you kind of just step back from it, you can see how it's all coming into place. Twitter is poisonous too. Yeah, Julia. It really is. They are the cause of this period. But again, we need to be praying. We need to be praying that God would bless this country, that God would heal the divide. TV is a peace spoiler, but we all need we need all Christian leaders to stand up in one voice. But you know what? You're not going to get all Christian leaders to do that. You know why? Because not all Christian leaders are leading a Christian life. They've been deceived as well. So you, instead of looking for the leader, look for God, because the leaders are going to fall. They're going to fall away. Some of the pastors. Thanks, Amanda. I try. I try. And so you have to be into the Bible. You have to be into the Word of God and seeking God's voice. And, you know, again, you're going to be misled if you just, all you do is believe that a pastor is going to lead you in the right way. Exactly. Need to treat people the way they wish to be treated. Yes, God is a focus. Absolutely. Don said race was nothing in the military. They had a mission. Exactly. Just got in from work. What did I miss? Oh, you missed a lot, Catherine. A lot. Well, I'm glad, Nina, that I came on. I didn't want to come on right away because I knew there was so much hate going on, and it's just like I don't want to get in like when there's hate spewing, and then it just gives people more to the trolls to come in. So I let some time go by, but I know that you were feeling probably the same way that I was feeling, and that I wanted to talk about it. Hey, Lightspeed 444, welcome. And it's just, you know, it's so much better to talk about these things and get back to the focus. You took a good 4 hours. I know. I thought China warned North Korea. No, China said that they would stay neutral if North Korea attacked us, but if we attacked them, that they would be on the side of China. You're welcome, Amanda. You know, in like I say, the politics, sometimes, you know, when we talk about politics, you know, it's to help you see that how things are moving. Things are going according to the Bible. They really are. Back to common reason. Right, Dixie. And that's where we need to stay. Because if you let Satan run everything, then you're going to be so distracted, so upset. You have been the only voice of reason I've heard all day. Well, Perez, I'm sorry that's happened. I wish you'd heard more voices that were that way. It's obvious. Don said he's going to rewind later, and please like the button. Okay, please give me the like button. Please, please, please. But anyway, we can see in our politics what's happening every day. The shows that I do every day, it isn't all about politics. It is about helping you see where we're going and how we should navigate our way through it. And that's why it's important to talk about it. And I know it's really easy to get scared, to get angry and all that, but we can't do that. We just need to stay focused and stay the course and know what it is that we're supposed to do. Don't get distracted. Today was a distraction. Today was evil coming together and a lot of hatred in one place. And I'm not saying that everybody there was evil. I think there were very innocent people who were there just looking to see what was going on. There's a reason people do bad things even though they know it's wrong. It's the devil and his friends. Exactly, Lightspeed. Exactly. That's what I love about you and why I always be back. Thank you, Nina. Trust yourself. And not only trust yourself, trust God. More than yourself, trust God. Trust God that he has this. He is in control, Dixie. We don't have to, you know, while all of this stuff, it does make you worry. You don't need to worry. God has this. He's in control. You and I aren't in control. But we need to be in control to do what we're here to do. And that's it. For as long as we're here, do what you're supposed to do. God first. And, you know, pray for this. It's okay, Lightspeed. No typos are no problem. Pray for this president. Satan is amongst us. He doesn't have horns and a tail. He hides. He sure does. He sure does. And that's why we don't want to be the ones who are deceived. And we don't, you know, again, as I said, pastors are falling away. And in Revelation, in the end times, in the last days, that's what it says will happen. California said, thankful to listen to a voice of reason, less voices like yours out there. I'm in California too. There's voices of reason in California, believe it or not. And God will protect our president. Catherine, I believe that God put President Trump in. I really do believe that. He is God's man for this moment. Stay focused. Love your country. Love God, country, family, and each other. Love thy neighbor, one of the commandments. Please pray for our fallen heroes today and their families. Absolutely. And see, people went out there today. 2 people died in a helicopter crash, not caused by the people who were down there demonstrating, not saying that. But they lost their lives today. There is more good than bad. We need to look for the good. We need to help people find the good. And we need to bring people more towards the goodness and the light. And not sitting there, standing there with so much venom coming out of people. I'm not even sure that some of them weren't even people that I saw. They were so anger-filled, looking at some way to just release that anger. And again, there's nothing wrong with releasing anger. You just have to do it appropriately. Love thy neighbor even if they're wrong. That's right, Dixie. And sometimes it's really hard to do. That's why you stay on the porch. Noah, that's the best thing that you can do. I think dark angels are everywhere and we can't see them, but they can see us. Light speed, absolutely. Absolutely. And I know people get to feeling that way. And I think, I don't know about you guys. I pray for you guys when you come to me and you say, I'm going to have an operation or this happened or whatever. I'm going to start praying for you just in general. And please pray for everybody that comes in these scopes every day. We can all use your prayers. It does begin with each one of us. We have to be the light, even in the worst of times. I also believe POTUS was put in the job by the Lord. Roger, just exactly what I said. He is God's man for this time. It was so, thank you, I will. Thanks, Nina. It was put on me today. If you're not part of the solution, you are the problem. Absolutely, Amanda. We must be the change. Thank you. Like your site. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I extend my hand but have a fist in case you don't get the message, Don said. I pray for you and everyone here every day. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much. Each one of us needs to learn love and forgiveness. Yes, and it's not easy. It is not easy. Trust me, I know. And I've got to remind myself every day. Thank you, Amanda. Thanks to everybody. I do appreciate your prayers so much. Lead by example, yes. And that's the one thing that we've not been doing sometimes. Tell son amen. But I just want to tell Dawn. She said Dawn amen. Renee said that. About your hand extended but your fist is there just in case. And again, I think sometimes we think that being a Christian, sometimes that we're a doormat or, no, we're not. It doesn't mean being a Christian means that you allow people to walk over you and treat you like crap. No, that's not what it means. But what it does mean as a Christian, you need to ask yourself, truly, what would Jesus do? Would Jesus go out there and do what we saw today? I don't think so. If Moses came down the mountain today, he'd be shocked. Oh, I know. And just think, again, people around the world are seeing that, and your children are seeing that, What kind of example is that? All of us need to come in unity in the name of Jesus and pray for our POTUS and the church. Absolutely. And I just want to say, I just want to pray right now. I want to pray for all of us that are in the scopes tonight, everybody who's going to watch this on replay. I pray that God would grant you the peace that you need. I pray that God would show you that we are all his children, and that as such, it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter how tall or how short or what gender you are or anything else. What matters is where your heart is. What matters is where your focus is. And I pray that you would focus on God, that in times of trouble, when you see what happened like today in Charlottesville and things that you're going to see coming in the future, because Revelation, the Bible tells us it is coming, that you would keep your focus on God and not on man, and that you would heal, God. I pray that you would heal this country, that you would bring us together, that you would break the agendas of people who are not doing what you want them to do, God, that the agendas on the left, that the agendas on the right would all fall to dust, God, because it is not what you want. And I pray, God, for this country to heal and this president, vice president, and the entire administration, God, to do your work, your will, and your way. And I pray that you give them the strength, the wisdom, and the protection, God, to do exactly what it is that you want them to do. And again, I pray for everybody in this scope that they would just keep focused on you, God, to do the right thing, to know that forgiving sometimes is very hard to do, and that you would help them, God, that you would lead them to you, that you would bring them to your voice, that when they need to know what they should do, that they would always turn to you, not to a pastor, not to anybody on Periscope, not to anybody else, but they would come to you, God, and ask you, what is it that they need to do? Hating is horrible. Hey, good to see you from Europe. Good to see you. We need to be one voice, and that voice is the voice of God. Renee, you know what? I know that you're struggling spiritually, but all you need to do every single day is ask God for his peace. You know, Nina, sometimes I do have a prayer, and I used to do more of it. It just gets so difficult because I do so many shows. I try to come on whenever I can. Thank you for your prayers. I really appreciate them. I really do. I'll try to do more. I try to do more of them. I really will. But it's really difficult. I do listen to, you know, I take time to listen to other spiritual people that mostly people from, you know, that talk about end time stuff and all that. But so, Lisa, I tell you what, and I'll have to say this in all honesty, God gets me through all of this because I don't really tell people how much time that I spend on this, but God's strength and God's will is what gets me through. I know. Stop all the hate in the world. It's not getting us anywhere. I know, Catherine, and I should do that too. It just seems like people are like, let's go, let's go. You know, I had one guy that he doesn't come back in the scopes. He said, you take too long in the beginning of your scopes to get into the news. So, you know. So, you know, I try to, like, I want to say hello to people because you guys are important. You know, I want to know your names. I want to know who you are. Who do you trust that you listen to? I listen to Amir Sarfati, who is in Behold Israel. I also listen to, I'll never know his, J.D. Farag, who is Calvary Chapel in Hawaii. I listen to him. He has YouTube. He talks about end times prophecy. So many opinions. Yep. He is really good. And so is Amir Sarfati. Also, I can tell you who else you might want to listen to. My co-host that I do God's views on political news on Tuesday, Bill Cloud. Bill Cloud is very much, he has a Shorshim Ministries. Thank you, Nina. And he is very much into the Bible, knows the Bible really well in Israel. So there's other people that, you know, you can listen to as well. And Bill Cloud is very good. You know, he's a very good man. Thank you for listening to that show. And if you would please, you know, that's a show. It'd be great that if you would listen, that you would retweet. You listen to the man in Hawaii. Yeah, he used to be, he was born in Palestine. He doesn't call himself a Palestinian. He's a Christian. He's a pastor. And he very much loves Israel. So those are the people that I try to listen to. And again, I also try to do reading. Don likes Bill too. Yeah, Bill's a really great guy. So, you know, I was going to say that's the show God's View on Political News. If you go to my website at susanknowles.com and just kind of scroll down, if you would please retweet that show. That is a show I think that will really benefit people We usually get about 1,000 to 1,000.4 people who listen to that each week because they want to know what God's views are. And, you know, it's important because, again, with all the political stuff that's happening, I put together that show because I thought, you know, people want to know what God is talking about. Not only is it important to know about politics and what's going on, what does God say about all of this? Because God has an answer for everything. You know, God is alive and well. He knows this is going to happen. He knew long before we were born that this was going to happen. And so, you know, he has an answer in the Bible for everything. How can we fight against the Muslims? Well, you get stronger in God. That's how. They're on Periscope. No, Lady Catherine, go to my Susan Knowles channel on YouTube, or you can go to susanknowles.com and just scroll down the page. You'll see everything that I write about, every show that I do, for the most part, and God's views on that show's on there as well. We talk about a lot of different subjects. Last week we talked about Antifa. Well, thank you, Paul. I really appreciate it. And if you guys retweet this, I'd really appreciate it. I know there are other people out there that are, you know, are hurting just like you, who are thinking, what do I do? You know, I'm angry. So if you get this out to them, I think that it would probably help. Hey, Marguerite, you may want to listen to this again. We need to, you need to pray for people who aren't Christian. I grew up listening to Billy Graham, and I believe his son Franklin is a man of God. Hey, Marguerite. Yeah, Roger, I did too. I grew up in North Carolina, so Billy Graham was, you know, right there in North Carolina. Lived about less than an hour away from me. Glad to see you too, Marguerite. Marguerite, you'll probably want to listen to this again. We talked about a lot of stuff, so you'll probably want to hear that again. But I really do think that Billy Graham is very much a man of God. If you read some of the books that he's written, he's also written books on end times. You'd love that too. Shauna has control of your Twitter channel. Oh, you live in North Carolina? I grew up in Asheville, so you're probably close by. So again, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you guys coming on tonight. I need church tomorrow instead of watching news. Amen. Hickory, I know where that's at. California is a goddess. Oh, that's a beautiful place. Yeah, Julia, one of my favorite places there is the Biltmore House. Even Israel is confusing, just does bad things on behalf of them, and I'm like, okay. Oh, Morgantown, I know where that's at too. I missed that. Somebody just asked me a question. Oh, godless. Well, you know, there's a lot of godless places, Bob. You know, I mean, California is, but there's a lot of godless stuff going on right down there. Oh, she's right down the road from you, Don. You've been to the Biltmore House. Oh, Julia, isn't it the most wonderful place? And especially like at Christmas time. Oh, love that place. Yes, it's in every state. You're right. Godlessness is in every state. Yep, every state, every nation, every country. You love Asheville, Renee? Yeah, it's Asheville. I don't even recognize. It's so totally different. It was a very conservative town when I grew up. Now it's very liberal. You went at Christmas? Oh, it's beautiful. My gosh. I could stay there all day long. The last time I went, they gave you a cassette that you could walk around with, and you could stay in the room, whichever room, and listen all day long. But I don't know that they do that anymore. Thomas Wolf. I'm sewing a baby quilt back to my crafty corner of the world. Oh, nice, Dixie. How cute. Thank you for your voice from Louisiana. Well, thank you, Louisiana. I hope you come back and see us again. We're on every day. I'm on every day at 11 a.m. Eastern. We talk about politics and news, but God's always in there. They did when I went. Oh, cool. You are up late. No, not really. It's only 9 o'clock in California. Marguerite. You guys are the ones that are up late. They did the audio when I was there last. Oh, yeah. Don't you just love that? I mean, seriously, you can take however long you want. Love you, Susan. God bless. God bless you, too, Noah. I know I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but I don't know how to say it. And I'm sorry if I am. I went to my crafty corner to retreat a bit from today. Yes, Nina. Yeah, it's going on midnight where you are. I know. You guys are up late. Love the bowling alley in the I know. We need so many more people like you in this world. Bless you. Thank you, Roger. Pray, pray for me. Please, you guys, if you will, that I will always be on the path that God has me on and listening to God. Please do that for me. I ask you that you do that. That I will stay focused and that I will continue to do what I'm supposed to do. Please. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, Robert, for all of us praying for you daily. Thank you, Nina. Thank you. Thank you. The old indoor pool was ahead of its time. Oh, I know, Renee. This is so weird that they had slaves during that time, and you could see where they lived, the servants lived. They were saying, I heard it one time, this was years ago, that the people who lived there, they were the Vanderbilts, they were carried around like from room to room. Thank you, Teresa. They literally like didn't walk up and down the stairs most of the time. I don't know how early on this was in that house, but there's something like 270 some rooms in that house. Oh my gosh. And or was it 170 or two? I don't know. Close to 200, somewhere around there. And you can go there. I mean, you can see they opened up almost everything. And the husband and wife slept in separate rooms. They didn't have the same bedroom. 203. There you go. That's a hotel. I mean, it's Lisa, if you ever go there, you need to go see it. Well, I know, Bob, you've got a problem there in Texas. Yeah, it's insane. I mean, but they had, I think the slaves, too, were down below. They don't let you go down there for good reason. But I mean, the place is just unbelievable. And I think it's the only place, it cost, the last time I was there, it was like $25 or something like that, and it per person, but it cost so much because they didn't hand it over to the government. It's still privately owned by the Vanderbilt family. But it's gorgeous. The grounds are awesome. Yes. And that used to, Renee, that used to be a where they had cows. It was a dairy farm. It was a working farm. I don't know if part of it still is. I'm not sure. But that's where, remember, they used to be Biltmore Milk or something like that? That's where it came from. But I miss that place. Yes, Anderson Cooper's family. Yes. Yep, the Vanderbilt family. Absolutely. I don't think Anderson Cooper has anything to do with it, but Arkansas is doing okay for now for the most part, but things are changing everywhere. They can afford to let people in for free. Well, they have to keep everything up. I think Biltmore House is still the largest privately owned in the world. Yes, Roger, I believe it is. They did a movie there. The guy, what was his name? Oh my gosh. The guy did the Pink Panther, Peter Sellers. He made a movie there at the Biltmore House. And he was in Asheville in the wintertime, and he said it was the most depressed that he'd ever been. If you've ever been to Asheville in the wintertimes, it's pretty bleak and cold, so. But he was very depressed. The Shining. No, The Shining wasn't made there. It was, I can't remember the name of it. Lots of California people coming to Texas. Beware of that, Bob, because that's a problem. They went to Oregon and they messed up Oregon. They went to North Carolina and they screwed that up too. What happens is they run because they want to get away from the liberal stuff that's going on in the state. But when they go to that new state, they bring their liberal ideas with them. Yeah, you're. Oh gosh, you guys. So anyway, I should let you guys go to bed. Arizona too. It happens, Amanda. Wherever they go, they kind of ruin it. Carl Sandburg was from the mountains of North Carolina. Yep. So is Thomas Wolfe. He was from Asheville. Gonna go storm rolling in. Oh my gosh. Robert, be careful. All right, you guys. Stay focused on God. Have a great rest of the night. Have a great day tomorrow. Please retweet all of this and retweet, if you will, the God's views on political news on SusanKnowles.com to let everybody hear about that. So thank you again for coming in. God bless you. Stay focused on God, all right? Take care, you guys. Have a great night. Oops. I can never get this to go off. There we go. All right. Good night, guys. All right, everybody on YouTube. See you soon. Probably Monday. Take care.